Let's make one thing absolutely clear. Netanyahu is a war criminal, and his government is actively committing genocide. This isn't about security. It isn't about self-defense. It is about erasing Palestine from existence, and they aren't even trying to hide it anymore. This did not start on October 7th, 2023. This is decades in the making, a slow-motion ethnic cleansing that has now escalated into an all-out extermination campaign. Netanyahu and his allies have spent their entire careers ensuring that Gaza remains an open-air prison, that Palestinians live under a brutal occupation, and that every attempt at resistance is met with overwhelming, disproportionate force. But before we get into the horrors of the ongoing genocide, let's talk about how we got here. Netanyahu's political career is built on blood. He rose to power by aligning himself with far-right religious Zionists in the Likud party, using fear, hatred, and warmongering to consolidate control. He made it clear early on that he had no interest in peace, and he proved that when he actively called for the death of General Yitzhak Rabin over the Oslo Accords. Why? Because anything less than total genocide is unacceptable to Netanyahu. Rabin, who sought to negotiate, was seen as a traitor, and the far right answered Netanyahu's call by assassinating him in 1995. That moment cemented the fact that the Israeli far right does not negotiate. It does not coexist. It does not believe in peace. It believes in annihilation. The brutal conditions in Gaza today aren't some natural consequence of war. They were designed. The Israeli government, with full backing from the US, turned Gaza into a concentration camp long before October 7th, and Netanyahu played a key role in making sure it stayed that way. After George W. Bush and Netanyahu forced Gaza into elections too soon, after Israel's withdrawal in 2005, Hamas took power, against the warnings of Fatah and the Palestinian Authority. Israel knew that forcing elections at that moment would lead to Hamas winning. And that was the point. Hamas winning allowed Israel to justify the ongoing siege of Gaza, to blockade it, and to starve its people. They wanted Hamas in power. They wanted an excuse, and it worked. Since then, Gaza has been turned into a prison where Palestinians live in permanent siege, unable to escape, unable to rebuild, and forced to live in absolute desperation. Since October 7th, 2023, nearly 50,000 Palestinians have been slaughtered, and counting. Women, children, families wiped out in their homes, hospitals bombed, entire neighborhoods reduced to ash. And let's be real about something. Mossad and Netanyahu knew about the Al-Aqsa flood attack a year prior. This was allowed to happen because Netanyahu needed a pretext. The decades-long slow-motion genocide wasn't enough anymore. He wanted to accelerate it, to make it explicit, to wipe Gaza off the map. And Israel's tactics? Collective punishment. They don't just target militants. They bomb everyone. Bombing schools, hospitals, refugee camps, and then lying about it. And when the world calls them out, they don't care. They know the US will cover for them. They know the EU will hesitate. They know the UN is toothless. The international community has allowed this to happen. We saw the world mobilize instantly for Ukraine. Sanctions, arms, military support. But for Palestine, silence, or worse, justifications. And now, with Trump's victory in 2024, the support for open genocide has only grown. Trump has not only backed the slaughter completely, but he's even mocked it. His AI-generated videos joking about turning Gaza into Trump Gaza, a luxury Riviera built on the bones of dead Palestinian children, aren't just cruelty, they're a statement, a declaration that Palestinian lives do not matter. The U.S. empire is fully committed to backing genocide, and the Christian Zionists and warhawk Republicans love it. This isn't about security. This isn't about self-defense. This is about settler colonialism. The very existence of Israel as a state is predicated on the erasure of Palestine. And this is the final phase, the openly genocidal phase. And yet, despite all of this, we still hear the same excuses, the same justifications, the same lies. We are told that opposing Zionism is anti-Semitic, that criticism of Israel is an attack on Jews. But let's make something very fucking clear. Zionism is not Judaism. Zionism is the enemy. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. Zionism is a colonial fascist ideology that thrives on ethnic cleansing and genocide. And the reality is, more and more Jews are rejecting Zionism. More and more Jews are standing in solidarity with Palestine. And the ones who survived the Holocaust, they see the parallels. They know what a genocide looks like, and they are bearing witness to it happening again, this time in Gaza. This is the world we live in. A world where a nation founded in the wake of the Holocaust is carrying out its own Holocaust against another people. We have a choice. We either stand with Palestine or we stand with genocide. There is no middle ground. There is no neutrality. Silence is complicity. Netanyahu and his government are war criminals, and the blood of thousands is on their hands. The blood of thousands more will be spilled if the world does not wake the fuck up and stop pretending this is about defense or self-determination. This is genocide, and it is deliberate. Zionism must be dismantled. Israel's apartheid must end. Palestine must be free. There is no other option.